Welcome to meal one of a full day of eating while in a deficit. So we're kicking things off with a pretty carb heavy breakfast. We've got fruit, honey, yogurt, and orange juice, and that is mixed with collagen peptides. Now, before any of you report me to the IPF police, these aren't true peptides like BPC 157. This is just a marketing thing. This is just pure bovine collagen, which I'm taking at the moment mainly because I've got a little bit of a meniscus issue, and I just want to try it and see if it sort of helps with that a little bit. Obviously it's not going to help just by itself. I'm doing some other recovery and rehab stuff for that, but overall my knee is actually feeling quite good at the moment. But yeah, so today we're aiming for 2,500 calories. We did start the cut on 3,000 calories, but I realised that was probably a little bit too high because I wasn't losing the weight at the rate that I wanted to. So we're down to 2,500. Weighed in this morning at 111.4. That's probably a little bit high for me, but that's probably because I haven't evacuated last night's meal. So that's probably the reason for that. So let's get into this meal. Obviously the reason for lots of carbs early on is because I am training today. I'm going to be training sort of just after lunchtime. So I want to try and get a lot of carbs into my system early. So we've got deadlifts, which is 152.5 kilos for 4, and then quite a lot of volume on bench. So let's get into it. Right, calories will be up there somewhere for meal one. So apart from the gym, I haven't really got too many exciting things going on today because I've got an exam next Wednesday on chest trauma in ICU and what physiotherapists would do to treat that. So I've got a presentation to do, so I'm just working my way through that at the moment. But it's about it is 12:30 now, so I'll probably give it half an hour more doing this. Then I'll have my next meal of the day, let that digest, and then we'll head off to the gym. Right, so getting ready for lunch. I'm basically having a mini fry up, although it's going to be a slightly healthier version hopefully, because we're going to be using the new air fryer that Lois got for her birthday, and this is dual compartment, and obviously it just means that you can use, it means you don't have to use oil, so you can just use some of the fat that's on the meat already to cook in its own juices. So it is a little bit healthier. So I'm going to be having some streaky bacon. I've got some 97% hex sausages. I'm going to have 2 of those. I've got some black pudding, which is a little bit of a treat. Some eggs. I'm going to fry those, but I'm going to be using some light fry light oil for that. I've got some baked beans, and then I've got some protein bread. This is what I've been having recently. It's the Vortigen, whatever, however you say it, bread, and it's 6 grams of protein per slice. So I'll have 2 slices of that as well. So let's get it done, and then see you at lunch. Are you team beans in a ramekin or not? I have to admit, I actually am. I know it's a bit of a controversial thing because a lot of people just don't understand why beans are ever served in a side dish, but I just don't like all the beans spreading out on my plate. I like to be able to serve it up. Anyway, I digress. This is second meal of the day. Not the healthiest. There's obviously a few processed meats in here, but just keeping it real, this is something that I will have maybe once or twice a week, and it is generally something that is part of my diet. So that's why I'm eating it. Obviously trying to mitigate some of the unhealthiness by putting it in the air fryer and just not pummeling it full of extra fats. And there's a good amount of protein in here. A little bit of carb, obviously, because I want to keep the carbs flowing before the gym. But yeah, I'm absolutely starving, so let's get into the second meal. Let's let that digest and then we'll head off to the gym. So it's been a little while since I've had an updated wardrobe for the gym, so I thought I'd treat myself to some Rascal Apparel gym tops, because I see a lot of people wearing them in the gym. I quite like the designs, so I thought I'd get some. So the first one I've got, which is very apt for me: all pain, no gain. Some gains, but mainly pain. And then the other one, not so much these days, but fat boy. I think I'll probably go with this one today. All pain, no gain. That being said, let's see if we can do some pain-free deadlifts today. So the supplement stack that I'm going to be taking before the gym today is some pre-workout, some hydration supplements and some creatine. Just going to check if there's any calories in these. It doesn't look like it. Sometimes there's sugar in these supplements, but it doesn't look like there is. Going to go a little bit heavier on the pre-workout today. Normally I do half a scoop. I'm going to go closer to a full scoop there, just because it's week 3 and it's getting a little bit more intense. 152 for 4 is more than I've done for a little while on the deadlift, so just want to make sure I'm nice and stimulated for that. And then obviously the hydration for hydration, funnily enough. And I will sip this on the way to the gym, because if I down it all now, it will have a massive laxative effect, and nobody wants to see that. Right, kicking things off nice and light, 70 kilo. Next up, 120. $170. $220. Just need to clear some blood off of the bar. The t-shirt makes a lot of sense now. Right, time to bench. Those extra carbs this morning have definitely done me a favour. That 252.5 for 4
moved really well. It's given me a lot of confidence going into the final week of the block next week, where I've got 260 for 4. So that was always the objective today, just try and make 252 move really well, and it sets me up for next week. Back down sets pretty good as well, 220, 3 sets of 3. Just moving on to bench now. Sweating out my arse though, it is very humid today. But yeah, let's get it done. 5 sets of 5, 115. Okay, final set. Oh good, I've got sweat in my eye. Nice. What's the fiance cooking up in here then?
Fiance, lamb chops.
Ooh.
Air fryer lamb chops.
Air fried lamb chops.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, it's not very exciting.
Oh, I'm sure it will be.
Herby potatoes.
Herby potatoes.
Making a mint sauce. We just got some broccoli, but I haven't turned it on yet.
And you look like you've just been to the gym.
Yeah.
What have you done? What have you done? Talk us through it.
Hip thrust. Hate the hip thrust, I must say. Leg curl.
Sounds like a very productive workout.
Yeah, I can't even remember what I did.
So I'm making the mint sauce for what is going to be a B-Tech version of a roast dinner. I say B-Tech because it's just a condensed smaller version. It's going to be just as delicious, but it's just a small portion of what is essentially a roast dinner. So we're going to make mint sauce, which is basically just red wine vinegar, mint and sugar. And then obviously we've got the lamb chops and then some potatoes and some broccoli. So a relatively healthy meal actually. Hopefully full of protein. Let's go for it. A bit of mint sauce. It's been a while since I've had mint sauce. Shall we try and have half each to make sure we
had it.
I didn't have any. I didn't have any. So lamb, notoriously quite fatty, but they're actually quite small. So I think the calories in this are actually going to be quite low. But one thing's for sure, it's going to be delicious. Right, final meal of the day calls, and I'm just trying to work out what I'm going to have because I haven't really actually got many calories left for the day. I've got like 60 calories if I want to be bang on 2,500. So it's going to be some sort of protein shake, probably the collagen one, just because that's actually the lowest calories because that's just pure protein, or the isolate. This is a conversation I could have had with myself before hitting record. I think I'm going to be slightly over my overall calories for the day, but I'm still going to be in a deficit, but it's just not going to be 2,500 because I'm pretty low on my protein today. So I've prioritised having a protein shake from the Perform Isolate Whey. That's just 1 scoop because I only had 1 scoop left, with 2 scoops of the collagen. So that comes to around about 40-50 grams of protein, just to top me up to near 200 grams for the day. I don't actually know how many calories I've had, so I'll very quickly do the maths. 2,679 for the day, but to be fair, I've had a pretty big gym session, so that would have burnt a few extra calories, and like I said, I still am in a deficit, but that means my total macros for the day stands at 243 grams of carbs, 204 grams of protein. So I always try and get above 200 grams because it's normally, the calculation is 1 gram per pound of body weight. So I'm around about 220 pounds in body weight, so it should be around 220 grams of protein, but I don't tend to find that I get close to that. It's normally just under 200 grams. So to hit 200 grams is good today, and then 103 grams of fat. And that, once I finish this, is my full day of eating today. There's an unmixed bit at the end there. So that is it, guys. Hope you have enjoyed the video. Tomorrow I'm actually going to a barbecue just to undo all of the good work that I've done this week, but I am going to try and be sensible and not go overboard, and to be honest, it's a good excuse to get a lot of protein in with the meat. So looking forward to that. I'm going to be doing that with Sam, Lois and our mate Aaron. But yeah, I'm going to sign out the video there. I hope you've enjoyed this one. Please leave it a like if you have, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Peace.